people here, aren't there?
Are there?
Paul and Gareth.
Oh, for God's sake, not him again.
We're missing Paul and Gareth.
Well, we might as well go, you know, if Paul Darrow's going to come up here, you know, what chance will we have to speak? Hey, we won't have a chance, will we? I mean, goodness sake, he'll be doing Shakespeare the lot, won't he? Oh, well, you better ask us questions now. We'll get started before they come, I think. So ask us what you want. You know, is someone coming around with a microphone eventually? There will be in a minute. So start to prepare the questions in your mind, perhaps. Say, you know, how long have I been going bald and stuff like that, you know.
How long?
Well, only about the last year, really. Hey, are we allowed to smoke on this stage?
Hey!
Here's Gareth, everybody. Here's Gareth. There's your water.
The other end.
Yeah, I've got to sit next to him.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Water.
Oh, yeah.
Water. Here's somebody.
Hello.
Apparently
Here's somebody.
apparently I'm late. I do beg your pardon, and I just want to say that it's a thrill for me to be appearing with Lovett, and I'm looking forward to your big number later on.
He's my brother, actually.
Yeah. But he ain't heavy, huh? Right.
Oh, he's gone.
It's grown time. Okay, where are the microphones? Are you ready for the questions? Right.
We're going to do harmonies in a while as well.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll do some Beach Boys songs, I think.
Ba, ba,
Yeah,
ba.
round, round, get around, I get around. Should we start with that one?
All together?
No, just a joke. Don't worry, it's nothing worse than comedians.
I've got the ashtray.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
God.
Norman doesn't like cigarette smokers, and quite right too. So I shan't smoke, Norman.
That's
Out of
very
courtesy
kind.
to you.
That's very kind
Yeah.
of you, Paul. He's been very nice to me for the first time. He knows I'm comparing the show here tonight, so he's trying to crawl round me to make sure I don't make any barbed comments about him after he's done his act. Whatever that may be.
Well, if you don't, I will.
I bet you do.
Actually, Gareth's part of the act.
Do you do a
Okay.
double act with Gareth?
Well, oh, yes.
Oh, that'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
Mr. Thomas will be portraying the role of Hamlet this evening.
Crikey. How long does it last, Paul? Not too long.
Not too long.
Good,
no,
that's
no,
good.
no. I have the more crucial role of the first gravedigger.
Crikey. Well, I can't wait for that. No, I'm looking forward to the variety show, and I hope you'll all turn up, and should be good fun.
Leave them to it. And
It's only going to take about 6 hours. No, it won't. He'll have an interval, but it'll be a good show. It'll be a very good show.
It'll have an interval, but it'll last a year round till the next convention.
Right. Any questions so far?
You're awfully nice looking, Hattie.
Pardon?
You're awfully
I got
nice
one.
looking.
Oh, thank
Always
you.
chatting Hattie up right in front of people. I mean, that's
Hello.
so brazen, isn't it?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yesterday, Brian told us about his adventures climbing Everest and meeting the Dalai Lama. Could you tell us the most difficult thing you've ever done and the most important person or the most famous person you've ever met?
Paul Darrow.
Yeah, I guess it's got to be Paul. We're meeting Paul, I guess.
Paul,
Do you want to
yeah.
start, Paul?
no, I don't want to start.
can't- you can't
It seems I'm finished already. And we got to take that quite seriously, actually. I mean, climbing Everest and
That's a big
meeting the
one.
Dalai Lama, I mean, it's a hard act to follow. I very nearly met Al Gore. But that was about it, really. I wanted to meet Dan Quayle, but he wasn't around long enough. And I'd like to meet this man, Rush Limbaugh. Apparently he's a nice guy.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Well, he's obviously not terribly popular here, is
No,
he?
no.
He won't be at Visions next year.
We better put him on first, I think. He's in the
Hattie,
variety show.
darling,
Why
you
put him
must
on
have
at
done
all?
something terribly exciting in your life. Who's the most famous person you've ever met and, you know?
I almost met the Queen once because I was standing in the wrong place. Because I used to work as a secretary and I worked at the National Theatre in London for a while. I met lovies like these. And it was the opening of the National Theatre, actually, and they had the Queen there and everything, and I was just standing in the foyer thinking, oh, where am I meant to be standing? And suddenly realised there was a lineup of people all being introduced to the Queen, and I was standing right next to the last person, and I suddenly saw the Queen right there, and I went, oh, God, I'm not meant to be here! Just panicked and ran off. I should have stayed there, which would have been a bit of a challenge for the person introducing people to the Queen, because they wouldn't have known who the hell I was. So.
I remember that. Yeah, she said to me, she said, you know, I wanted to meet Hattie really badly. She just pissed off as soon as I arrived.
Yeah, she's never got over it. There you go. And I think the most exciting thing I've done, I did a parachute jump, which I really loved doing. Just the one. That you got 2 for the money, but after the one, I thought, well, I was lucky. I didn't kill myself, and I don't want to go up there again. But it was really brilliant. It was just the most wonderful feeling floating down there. You were given all these instructions of what you did. You were meant to leave the plane and fly spread-eagled through the air, but I got on my certificate, left plane with arms and legs waving, because I was actually going, ah, like this, and didn't stop panicking till the parachute opened, and then just floated down, and that was wonderful.
Who's the most exciting person you've ever met, Mr. Darrow? Who's the most exciting person you've ever met?
What, me? Oh, I thought I'd done
Don't
my
say
bit.
Michael Keating
It's
or
not
Jackie
exciting,
Pierce.
it's the most famous, the question, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's the most famous?
Most famous, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Oh, I would say...
I'm not allowed to say.
No, go on.
No,
Oh, you
well, it's
not,
private.
you can't talk about the
I
Queen.
can't talk.
No.
Most famous person I've ever met. Well, I've met quite a lot of famous people, actually.
Well, so have I, actually.
It's hard to say who's the most famous.
John Hurt.
Oh, I used to share a flat with him.
Met John Hurt.
Mm.
Yeah, well, you're old enough.
Ian McShane used to share a flat with him.
I met Laurence Olivier once.
And I met someone
He's
before
dead.
they died. Yeah, well, it doesn't
Before he
matter,
died?
does it?
Oh, I see. Oh.
Doesn't matter if they're dead, does it?
I've met a very famous American author over here.
Oh, God, who did I
Who's
meet?
that?
That singer with the glasses that died, dark glasses.
Elvis?
No, not Elvis.
Singer with the dark glasses. Roy Orbison.
Roy Orbison, I met.
You met him?
Yeah, I met him. And I met him just before he
Before
died.
he died?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think that's why he died?
I have every reason to believe so.
It's funny you should say that. 'cause
I've got a hell of a strong handshake.
yeah, he may not look much, but he's deadly when he's roused. Yeah,
Yeah, us Scorpios.
is that what you are?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
well,
the name of the spaceship we had in Blake
That's
7.
bound to please
Oh, really?
at least 12
Yeah.
of the
Crikey.
audience, isn't it?
The most exciting thing I've done, this might sound a bit soppy to you, but I mean, seeing the birth of my daughters, Lily and Kitty, was very exciting to me, and I was responsible for that, I think. So that was very exciting for me. Yeah.
So who's the most famous person you've met, Gareth?
Paul Darrow.
Oh.
What did he say? Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
Darrow.
Actually, funny you should say Paul Newman, you mentioned that. I have met Robert Redford.
Did you
I
know?
have met Robert Redford.
I bought some of Paul Newman's spaghetti sauce once.
Did you?
It's quite nice.
No,
That's the
I did. I
most
met
exciting.
Robert Redford quite by accident. I was at Morris Angel going for a costume fitting, and as I was going up the stairs, he was coming. I'll tell you how long ago it was. He was doing. Well, he came down the stairs, and I'll tell you the conversation. It went like this. He, because he's shorter than I am, stayed on the step above and looked down, and I said, "Good afternoon," and he said, "Hi," and I said who I was, and he said, well, he didn't say anything actually, because he didn't know. And he said, "I'm Bob Redford." And I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "You've just been for a costume fitting." He said, "Well, I wouldn't be in a costume as if I hadn't." And no, he didn't. And so I said, what film are you doing? He said, "I'm doing a picture called Out of Africa." And I said, "Oh, that sounds interesting. Who's your female co-star?" And I loved his reply. He just went, "Meryl Streep, who else?" You know, because she was in everything at the time. Anyway, there's the sum total of my conversation with Robert Redford. Right.
Next question.
This is for the two Harley. I asked the female.
That microphone's not working. Can't hear you, old boy.
No, it needs to be turned up a bit, I think, or something.
Well, it's not working very well, Debbie. No, it isn't. Yeah, everybody knows Debbie, no, don't they? Do you come on up here? Are you a geek or a dweeb?
I was just curious, how easy it was for you when you have to appear on as Harley, just to have your face appear. You couldn't use your hands or body movements. And
Okay.
she
Thank
probably
you.
remember the question. now.
Yeah, no. How difficult was it? Because on Red Dwarf, people that haven't seen it, it's just the Hollies. Both of us were just our heads and nothing else, which in some ways is quite easy because you don't have to worry about tripping over or walking into furniture or anything, or even going to costumiers. You just don't have to do any of that. It's quite fine, really. Both of us do stand up. Neither of us do stuff where you do triple somersaults or anything like this. So I think both of us were kind of used to just standing there with just our words and our face. And so I think that's why we were chosen, really, because we weren't very... I mean, I don't exercise at all. I don't use the rest of this, so I didn't mind just having just the head.
It's harder to act, though, when you're just in one spot. You can't interact with the other performers when you're in a corner of the studio just in front of a camera like this. It's quite difficult, really, But,
It's the opposite of what I just said, though, isn't it?
Hey, was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's... No, I disagree then, because we
You
both,
disagree then?
I agree in the sense of the stand-up, but, all you look at is a camera. No, I prefer to act with people, and interact, and it's easier to remember your lines and stuff when you do that, because you know where you are. I think so, anyway. But
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a good character, so it was good to do it.
Question.
This microphone's not very good.
'Cause it's got no lead, that's why.
How old is it?
You talk about Paul now or me?
You all heard that, presumably.
This fella hasn't gone grey.
Actually, I have.
Yes, I know, but I was going to admit that.
I have.
No, I don't think it's surprising, really. They've just re-released all the videos, so it's inevitable that people will suddenly recognize us again. What does surprise me is at my age and grey and at considerably more weight, people still recognize you. That does surprise me. People come up, kids come up, sort of 10-year-olds, say, "Excuse me, you were in Blake 7, weren't you?" I say, yeah. And they say, "Well, can you..." And you think, hang on, you weren't born when that was shown. Is that your father standing over there? Fine. It's the fathers that ask the autographs, but in fact the kids... Doesn't surprise me, does it you?
No, you hit the nail on the head, in a way, because indeed it is the parents who... it's fathers that you deal with, it's the mothers that I have to deal with.
Grandmothers.
And it's usually, the lady says, I was pregnant with this little boy or little girl or whatever when, and I was watching Blake 7, and so I've introduced him or her to it and they like it, and so it goes on. They're somewhat disappointed, of course, because they expect me to be in black leather and running around looking cool, and well, they're not that disappointed. So Gareth's quite right there. Have a drink of water, Norman. You're quite sure that is yours and not Gareth's?
Yes, I sincerely hope so. Mine's down here.
Sorry.
It's really ripping along,
When
isn't
did
it?
Blake 7 start?
Blake 7 started in 1978 and finished in 1981. And it is now 1995, so it was 14 years ago that it finished. And what, 17, 18 years ago when it began? I mean, it's ludicrous, isn't it?
Just new generations discover programs, same with Red Dwarf and stuff, and it goes on, and we're delighted about that. Because it means that we live on as well, so that's good. And we can earn a living from it even after we're dead. Well, we can't, but our families can,
Who's your agent?
Yeah, just like,
I am.
aye.
Next question.
Lady and gentlemen,
Hello.
can you
Well, we know who
tell-
the lady is, which is the gentleman. Yeah.
We sure as hell not you.
Oh, gentlemen.
Yeah.
plural? Can you tell us the one piece of advice that your parents gave you that is still helpful today?
I know what Paul's parents said. They said, don't act.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. No, I didn't really. What did you say?
They said to you, don't act.
Oh, isn't he awful? I mean,
It's cruel stuff.
see, I give the impression of being in total control, and I'm a sensitive little flower underneath it all.
I'll answer this question. I'll get it over with straight away. I wasn't given any advice by my parents that I can remember at all.
And you've lived by that, haven't you, Norman? I can't think of any either, really.
I can't top that. I shouldn't even follow that. That's two
The only
rounds of
one I
applause
can-
you got. Well, nearly a
Oh.
round of applause.
All right.
One and a half.
The only thing I can remember my mum saying to me was, "Don't let boys mess you about." And
You've ignored it.
yeah, not as much as I'd like to have ignored it, but I have tried to ignore it. Yes.
I remember my parents were rather straight-laced, and when I was at school, I said something to my mother about sex, which alarmed her considerably. So she spoke to my father and said, I think the boy is old enough. I was, about 27 at the time. He's old enough to be told. So my father said, right, come into the front room, sit down. And I sat down. He said, now then, I think you ought to know about sex. And I said, all right. He said, now then, when intercourse takes place between a man and a woman, sperm is ejected. How many spermatozoa does it take to fertilize the ovum? I said, 1. And he said, I don't know why I'm wasting my time. You seem to know all about it. And that was the end of that. That's all I ever learned about sex, as anybody who's ever met me since knows.
Sorry, me? Why? The best advice given. I can't really think of it. I never listened to my parents. My father was brilliant, but I didn't get to know him until he was dead. Seriously, I wish I had. I can't remember any advice they ever gave me. I just went on my own way, did my own thing.
Right, should we move
and
on to the
failed
next
again.
question?
Right. Should we move on from there?
That
Next
could have
question.
gone on
Yes,
and on,
right,
couldn't
yes.
I'm going to be the referee here.
Now I know why you're the
Norman could be a
commentator
Michael
tonight,
Keating,
Norman.
couldn't he?
Be strict here.
Michael. Yeah.
Next question.
Next question.
Oh,
Norman
we've lost
wants.
the microphone. Oh no, we haven't.
Is this working now?
I don't
This
think
is
it
for each of you. You have 2 television shows here, both of which I think aren't the sort of thing Americans are supposed to like. Something that is a hopeless cause that really was hopeless, and something that starts out with everybody but one dead.
Shall we leave now?
No, what would you do on British television? What wouldn't the Brits let you get away with?
What can't you do in British?
Not a lot.
Well, just,
actually now
having
have-
sex and stuff like that.
Well, no, not even that. You now have a program come across from Holland, I think it is. Holland or Norway, I'm not sure which.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a blue channel, basically. And if you pay enough money, you can get a card to actually unscramble your own satellite and stick that in.
And
So
when did you get that
basically-
installed, Gareth?
I just asked my mother and I got it. No, but seriously, very little.
Oh.
Very little. What the public don't like is gratuitous violence. There are various programs that have it, but they're popular with a very small minority. Gratuitous violence is unnecessary, and I don't think the British public like it. I think I shut up now.
No, yeah, I think without sort of like being crusading or anything like that, I'll agree with that. I agree with that. Does anybody else?
Is that what you meant, or did you mean like surreal things?
Well, what won't the Brits want to see, as opposed to the thought?
Well, there's a
that
lot of things we
Americans
don't want to see on telly,
tragedy?
but unfortunately they are on.
Australian
Yeah, that's one of them.
I went to a pantomime last year, which is a very British thing, pantomime.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did. And there's a very funny a Scottish comedian called Stanley Baxter. And his sidekick, after the pantomime, said, why did the BBC show Neighbours twice, which is an Australian soap, why did the BBC show Neighbours twice a day? And without a pause, he turned and said, well, they have to the first time. You can't bloody believe it.
Any more for any more?
Absolute silence.
Nothing to say on that, Paul?
Nothing really.
programmes?
Awful lot of people out there, and nobody's saying anything.
I mean, we do have a lot of programmes at the moment, crime and cooking programmes. At the moment, don't we?
My cooking
yeah,
is
a lot.
a crime,
Oh,
so
is there
I
one?
should be on them.
Yeah.
Paul's been in both, I think.
No, there's one called Pie in the Sky.
Oh, that's true. That is a
I don't
crime
know
and a
that.
cooking.
Well, Richard Griffiths plays this detective who's a gourmet.
Who's a
Right.
gourmet?
I know, it is a sitcom.
very
Yeah,
clever.
yeah.
Ah.
Well, no, it's not a sitcom.
Aha.
Not when I did it,
drama.
it wasn't. It was a drama. No.
Drama.
I
What's the
play the
woman's
bad.
I
name
love
in that?
Richard Griffiths. He's fatter
What was
than
the
I
woman's
am.
name in that? Maggie something.
The woman's name?
Maggie something.
Ah,
The actress.
the actress. Well, she would be if she was a woman, wouldn't she?
So you work with other actors and you don't know their names?
Should we all go to the bar whilst these lot are having a conversation?
Yeah, let's get the
I
drinks.
can't
in.
remember. I worked with Lindsay Baxter. She played my wife.
Oh.
She's very
Oh,
nice. I was trying to kill her.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's friendly.
Which is an unusual sort of role for me.
Yeah, you're a romantic lead, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Obvious.
Yes, I think there's a man there with a microphone.
Yeah, another question
Oh,
now.
yeah.
For Norman, between seasons of Red Dwarf, I didn't think that the transition between Hallies was explained well enough. Is there anything you can add to that?
Well, when I left, Hattie coming along, you mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the bloody programme. I just do the jokes, you know. I really, you know, people ask me go into the plots and of stuff like that. I invariably don't know. I mean, I just don't know what happened. I don't...
Well, you was meant to fallen in love with Hilly
Oh,
and
right.
had a sex change to make your face mine.
Yeah, I mean, Holly's capable of doing many things. Most of them stupid. But obviously that's what he did. He changed into, you know, Holly too. I'm
Did you
sorry,
try-
it'd
did
be
you
better
try
if
and
the
slow
writers
down?
were here.
You know, the writing, did you try and slow that down and pause it all the way along to try and read it?
It'd be better if the
only
writers were here.
explanation you're given on it, I'm afraid, yeah.
So
Another question.
you became Hattie, or rather Hattie became you, is that right?
I became
Yeah, I was in
Oh,
the first two series.
I never saw that.
And then I left, and then...
Another question whilst they're just pottering on over here.
Well, they...
They were here last year, your compadres.
yeah, I know.
And
Were you
they,
here last
yes,
year?
I was, and they...
Do you come every year?
No. But they had the Emmy with them.
Yeah, they just won that.
That's right.
Yeah.
They had the Emmy.
It
So
took,
I nicked it.
it took 7 years. Did you?
Yeah.
It took 7 years to get an award, I think, didn't it? Is
yeah,
that right?
to get an Emmy.
Before it finally got recognised, you know. And so it's true that,
And that was when
everything
neither
comes
of us
to
were in it, so I don't know what that
everything
says.
comes to he or she that waits.
I'm
a
still
What a
poem.
load
waiting.
of rubbish! What a load of
Yeah,
rubbish!
obviously.
You know, what are awards anyway? I mean, what are they?
Don't you know?
They're all right if you grow marrows or something, you know. But anyway, let's get on.
That's squash.
Yeah, you lost me on that. Oh, marrows! You don't know what marrows are? They're like big cucumbers. You have cucumbers, don't you? Imagine them being pregnant. They're marrows.
The pregnant cucumber. I want to be in that
That's a good title.
You are.
title. Good title.
Well, hiya.
This is for all of you. Of the recent movies that have been put out, Terminator, Lawnmower Man, Batman Forever, and so on, which role would each of you like to have gotten if you could have had the role? In other words, what part would you, in any one of them movies, would you have liked to have gotten?
In any of those big major
Yeah.
films like The Terminator, Batman, or whatever?
Yeah,
Which roles would we like to play?
yeah.
Very simple. Every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, because he gets paid the most.
Hattie,
Seriously, I mean, they're all movies. They're, you know, if you get asked to do a movie, you say yes or no, and you do it. The reasons why you do it are multi and various. I mean, you do it because you think the script is wonderful. You haven't mentioned a film yet that actually I would call a film, not in terms of script. So fine, do it for the money. We have to pay the mortgage. And the ex-wives and the ex-lovers, and oh my God. And the bar bill, I mean.
I think I'd like to
the-
have been
the good part-
Catwoman, I guess.
You know, I was about to say you'd have been
Well, I
good.
wouldn't have been, but you know what I mean. If I'd have breathed in a lot.
What would you like to do?
Catwoman.
Catwoman,
Yeah, that's a brilliant one. Well, I'd like to have been in Batman and worked with the penguins, because I love penguins. But they were
They're very
probably
fond of you.
superimposed. I don't know. Were they real? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to be a penguin in,
Yeah.
in Batman, yeah. Just a very slow penguin. I'd be good at that. Not the way Danny DeVito played it. I'd play it a bit, you know, deadpan.
Slimmer and a bit older
slower,
and sort of, you
slimmer,
know, yeah.
bit
You'd be
taller.
very good as a penguin, no?
I'd play it taller, yeah, I would, yeah. No doubt about it. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've got a new ambition in my life. I want to see Norman as a penguin.
I'd like to have been the Joker.
You are, aren't you?
And had Jack Nicholson's contract. Yeah.
Have you noticed the way we all talk about money?
I didn't talk about
I
money.
haven't.
You did then. You wanted Jack Nicholson's contract. That's suggesting that you want a lot of money.
Test 1, 2, 3.
All right, Norman. All right. I
The
think you're
reason-
far too aggressive for a penguin.
The reason we talk about money is because we have to spread it throughout the year. If you've got a regular job, you get an income at the end of each week. We don't. We're self-employed, so we're all very insecure people in this profession, especially the actors, not so much the comedians. And we worry about, you know,
Broke is
you
the
have
word
to
you're
worry
looking
about
for.
money. You do, because there's only a certain few at the top of the mountain pile or whatever that get loads of dough, you know, loads of money. Okay. It's just paranoia, that's all.
Doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
I've got a question for Gareth. Earlier during the auction, you bought the climbing book from Brian. Can you tell us a little bit about your climbing experiences?
Well, I haven't had the experiences Brian has had, but I have done 3 or 4 climbing programs. 1 ice climb and 3 ordinary, straightforward rock climbs. I do remember my first rock climb, and we did that. We came back and watched the rushes. The rushes are when you get the film back from that day, you sit there and watch it. And I was halfway up a rock face, and a rock, a small piece of stone, fell through. And I said, "Oh, that looks good." And the professional climber said to me, "Yeah, but that wasn't a piece of rock." And I said, "Well, possibly it wasn't, no." It's very strange. It is because it's there. I don't know if I can use the word, pleased, but I hope there are no children to be offended here, but if I can use the word orgasmic, when you get to the top of a climb, it doesn't matter if it's halfway up a mountain, but if you've got a rock face and you get to the top, you say, "Wow, I did it. I did that." And it really is quite something. It's an extraordinary. The only other experience I've had like it is ploughing. Ploughing earth with 2 horses and a plough. And it is something extremely sexual. That actually is the wrong word. It is so basic. It's extraordinary. Somebody's just folding up their coat there. Are you okay there? You're fine? No, that's all right.
Gareth, I don't want to be rude here, but I just thought...
You are going to be anyway, so just
Well,
carry on.
I thought, so when you get to the top of a mountain, you get an erection. And
No,
that's,
you've done
that's somewhere
that.
to put the
You've
flag.
been there.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Sorry.
But it is an extraordinary experience, seriously. To answer your question, it is an extraordinary experience and a wonderful experience. Do it, I'll come with you.
I found that intensely moving. It was a brilliant question.
Yeah, the question was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good question. Good question.
Yeah, I think Paul's
It just
trying
went
not to
down the mountain after that.
How different are the fans in Great Britain as opposed to here?
I'm sorry?
How different are the fans at the conventions in Great Britain as opposed
How they
to here?
behave towards me and how they behave towards Gareth?
Well, we all know that, Paul.
All right, okay. No, I didn't understand the question.
Nobody loves you, Paul.
Is it different in Britain to America? Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Oh, Britain's
the
different.
accent, mainly. But, yeah. What?
Did you say Britons are nice? Is that what you said?
Yes, they are nice, yes.
So what about these people here?
They're nice as well.
Oh, right, that's
Yeah.
good, that's good. That was handy, he said that.
That was going to get dangerous
well,
there.
seriously, British people are more reserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there are one or two
Hooray.
exceptions. Usually they're over here. But they're more reserved, yes. They don't come up to you and boldly go when no person has ever gone before. But you do.
Is that
That's
why
it,
you're
really.
here?
I feel like I'm getting more like Hugh Grant every day, aren't I? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, don't go all the way.
divine experience.
Don't
yes.
go all the way, you know. You haven't been walking up and down the road, have you? Right. Oh, it doesn't matter. What's the next question?
I think they're similar, really, because you've got similar interests. So the people we meet at fan conventions in Britain are similar to the people we meet at fan conventions in America, I'd say. I don't know, it's my first one, American one, but I think it's because you've got the same interests and the same sense of humour and the same, you know, love of the programme. So in that sense, you are quite similar.
But you are more confident and, as Paul said, more reserved in our country. You're more confident. You know, you come straight out with it, and you're politer, I think, as well. I think you're very polite. Mr. Lovett, you say, Mr. Lovett, can you sign here, please, Mr. Lovett? You wouldn't get that at a Red Dwarf convention in Britain. They'd say, sign here, Baldy.
Have you got another session to do? Because
I was going to say, he obviously wants to come back again, doesn't he?
Okay, my question is for the two Hollies. I was wondering what's your next major project?
My next major project is doing a commercial, 5 days filming when I get back. And it's for British Gas. They've got a competitor now, and it's for them. And hopefully it'll be a really big commercial and it'll go well, but you can never tell. But that's the big thing. And then doing stand-up comedy gigs. I've got quite a few of those to do. So, you know, quite busy, really.
I'll be doing some more stand-up stuff abroad, mainly, I think, because I've been touring around Britain about the last 6 years. It's kind of like seen everywhere half a dozen times. So I'm going further afield, and there's actually a comedy gig in China now, which I'm going to go to. Oh! So
There's been one in
that's
Paris.
expats and stuff. You know, it's like Americans and Brits out in China, and then on to Australia. So I'm really looking forward to that. And also I'm going to do some writing, because travelling around and stuff, I haven't had time to write things. I'm going to try and write, you know, well, I'm thinking, oh, sitcoms, films, that type of thing, you know. But I'll probably just write a shopping list when it comes to it. But that's the intention, anyway.
What are you doing
And hopefully
next,
we'll
Mr.
both be in
Darrow?
Series 7.
What are you doing next, Paul? Do you know?
Sorry, what are you doing next?
I said, what are you doing next, Paul? Do you know? We don't need mics.
We weren't asked that question.
That's true,
It was for the...
That's nothing to
I'm
do with
sorry.
you, Gareth.
Am I not allowed to be interested in what Paul's doing next?
No, only the person that asked, you know.
Okay, I'm sorry, Baldy.
You're not allowed to ask questions.
I mean, I think they've assumed that you'd have retired.
Oh, God.
Oh. Okay, share my bus pass, pal.
You applauded that, didn't you? I mean, but the truth hurts. Who else?
I've got one.
Oh.
Paul, a few years ago you did a project for Disney called Stick With Me, Kid. Has that been shown in Britain, and any word on when it's going to be shown?
It was
here in the
last year, actually. I did it last year.
Last year.
No, it hasn't. It seems to have disappeared without trace. But the Disney Channel, I'm sure, will show it. Yes. I've seen it, because they sent me a video of it. So it cost a fortune, and they sent me a copy of it. That's it. They're not making much of a profit. But it was... I thought it was pretty good, and I was wonderful.
Yeah, you should have brought it.
Yeah, you should have brought it along.
Oh, well, it's a different system.
Yeah, but they'll copy it.
Oh, I should have done. I should have brought it. I could have made a few dollars.
Next time.
Next time, yeah.
A question for each of you. If they all paid the same, would you rather work in theatre, on stage, TV, film? What's your preferred medium?
That's rather an intelligent question, actually.
Can we have less intelligent questions than that?
Can I just go off and think about that for a day or two?
Gareth, what do you prefer?
You, Paul. Oh, sorry.
Let's guess what each other is going to say, shall we? I would say with Paul, I would say it's stage work and directing. He strikes me as that's his main work. Acting on stage, I think, is his preference. And I feel the same way with Gareth as well. I feel they're very much stage people, actors, you know.
Because you've seen us on TV, have you?
But Norman, does that mean you're just doing adverts, nothing else?
If I could do commercials, I've done 6 commercials and loads of voiceovers this year, and if I could do that for the rest of my life, I'd be quite happy to do it.
The money's best.
No, the
Hattie.
money's assuming the money's... Actually, you're pretty close. I'd love to do movies, though, because...
Yeah.
You know, work with all the big movies. Wouldn't it be wonderful to do a picture with Jack Nicholson or Robert De Niro?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be wonderful.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah. Hattie, darling, what would you
You'd probably
like
never
to do?
meet them, though, would you? You can do a film with them and never meet them.
No, I'd like a big enough part so that I would.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But they still have their own trailers miles
Yeah.
away and just go on.
They might not even talk to you, even
I
if
don't
you were in the
mind
same
trailer.
scene. They might not even talk to you.
I'd have my
They might do their scene.
Because
Then you do your scene and they've gone off for a coffee.
I was talking to Sylvester Stallone, who I haven't seen for quite a few years. I met him years ago, and he's a friend of Jim Broadbent, and that's how I met Sylvester. And Jim Broadbent has done a role in a Woody Allen film. Do you know what it's called? Which film?
Oh, it's the latest one, isn't it?
One of his latest films.
Oh,
and he was
blimey.
saying that Woody Allen never actually spoke to him. He sent like someone else over to say, can you do this and do that now? And you just do it. And so he never actually made contact with him, which was sad. But how exciting for Jim Broadbent, you know. But I just thought I'd tell you that.
Why it was exciting if you never met him?
Well, you...
What?
Yeah.
Gareth, sorry?
Why was it exciting if you never met him?
But, I mean,
There was the anticipation of meeting him all the time,
as a
wasn't
comedy
there?
actor...
Yeah, I might meet him. I might meet him.
dream.
And
I
then
might
Jim
meet
Broadbent
on the
to meet
plane,
Woody
came
Allen.
home.
I'm sure
4
he
years
would
in
like
Blake
to have
7
met him.
hoping to meet Paul Darrow, but there you go. Which is, you know...
He's talking about me, is he again? I don't know. Sorry, look.
You know, we haven't got foldback up here, foldback these 2 speakers, so we can hear the questions and hear ourselves. And these speakers aren't working,
is
so it's
Gareth's
quite
mic
difficult
on?
for
Is
us
this mic on?
to hear. These should be working,
I
but
don't
they're not.
need
it.
I
No,
don't
it
know
might
why they're
be
not
better like that. I don't
working.
know
So
if
that's
it's
the
on.
reason we're having difficulty in hearing a lot of
It's
stuff.
on, it's on.
And I'd like to apologise for that on behalf of my colleagues as well.
Very good of you, Norman.
I think I like doing live stuff, actually. Because the rest is just in bits, you know. Live stand-up things, I mean. So,
The great thing about live theatre is you walk out there, you cock it up, and there ain't no one can help you. It's just down to you. And that's a wonderful responsibility, and it's great. Actors love it. They also get much more... You don't get a feedback from a television camera or a video camera. Ooh, yeah, I'm talking to you, pal. Yeah, sit in the middle there. You get no feedback. But from an audience, you get feedback. There is nothing like a live audience. And you can play King Lear or Hamlet or in, I don't know, in Paul's case, Bugs Bunny, you know, live. But I mean, but seriously, you can play it for 20 months and every single night will be different. I don't believe, and I've said this for many years, I don't believe any audience for any live actors, and there aren't many of us around either, but any live actors, I don't believe you realize how important you are. And I don't mean for the applause, I mean for the reaction we get back. You don't have to say anything, do anything, we get feedback. Every single night will be different because of you. You are actually the totally integral part of that theatre. We're not going to act to a blank wall, are we? And you are incredibly important, and it's not for the applause, it's for what comes back. The thing you can't touch, the thing you can't explain, it just comes back. I'm sorry, that was terribly serious. I've been awfully boring.
Right. No, it's right, it's right, because, yeah, I would say that we've all said, well, you said films, but I'm sure you like that as well. Live
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And I like live stand-up. You can't beat that. There's no one telling you what to do. It's you and the audience. You make them laugh, and it's a lovely thing to do. In the case of actors, you're doing something, you make them laugh or cry, whatever, and it's a nice thing to do. Yeah, it's good. It's like sex, really.
What, you make them laugh,
It's nothing
Norman?
like sex, for Christ's sake.
Frequently better.
So Gareth has to climb mountains to get an orgasm. You've got to give a stand-up comedy act. What do you do to get an orgasm, Hattie, dear?
She looks at you, Paul.
Well, the feeling's mutual, I assure you.
God's
move on
sake,
to the
give us
next
Any other questions? Is Dr. Ruth in the house, for instance?
I could begin to enjoy this. I'm sitting next to her.
This is for Paul Darrow. What was it like being on Blake 7 when Blake disappeared, and how'd you like being in Doctor Who?
What was it like being on Blake 7 when Blake disappeared? And what was it like being in Doctor Who? A similar experience in many ways.
Well, he went on to play the King, so I mean...
No, I missed Gareth terribly. But I'll take better aim next time. And Doctor Who I enjoyed because I was... the first one I did was John Pertwee, who makes me laugh, and Colin Baker was the other one, who doesn't make me laugh, but he's a nice chap. And I enjoyed that. So I enjoyed doing it. I thought the script of the Doctor Who was rather poor, but there you are. So, yeah, no, seriously, I missed Gareth because he was Blake, and I thought the chemistry, for want of a better word, between us was very good. And we discussed, didn't we, when we met the other day, what would have been interesting would have been if Gareth had, or the Blake character had survived at the end of the 4th series, rather than my killing him. That was a very different Blake, wasn't it? That would have been an interesting relationship after that. So that would have been fun.
I don't think that show would have worked without that very special relationship. And it was off as well as on stage. On stage it was difficult, on screen it was difficult, very difficult. You see his costume. No, but it wouldn't have worked without that. And it wasn't just Paul and I, it was all of us. We got on so well together. And if we hadn't, that show wouldn't have worked at all. Who's that person that's saying it didn't work? I'll kill him.
Does that answer your question? Because if it doesn't, I'm afraid that's all we're going to get.
Here's another question.
I have an interchangeable question for Paul and Garrett. I think I know Paul's answer, so I'll start with Garrett. Garrett, if you had total control of the Blake 7 series, where whatever you said went, how would you have ended it?
I'd have killed Paul. No, if I had total control, I don't think I would have changed that much. The problem and the reason for Blake 7 being so popular is it was finite. And I don't think I would have changed that much. The fact it had to end with 4 series, that's it. It doesn't, like Doctor Who, no offence Doctor Who fans or anything, but it doesn't go on and on, monsters, all sorts of weird things, doesn't go on. It was a finite thing. Two protagonists, I'll take a deep breath, 2 protagonists, and eventually one of them had to win. And that's what they did, and they finished it and wrapped it up, and that's fine. And I don't think that could have been changed that much, really. You could have had Avon and Servalan going off together, but then you would have had a different series. It wasn't Blake 7 then. So I think Paul would probably agree. It was a finite thing, 52 episodes of basically 2 lots of people, us and the Federation, fighting. Somebody had to win at the end. And then it finished, and that was it. It can never be repeated.
Well, we hope it'll be repeated. We need the repeat fees, but...
well, yeah, quite, but I mean, yes, it can be repeated.
Money again.
Yeah. It can never be remade.
Jacqueline...
I know, it's Norman.
Jacqueline was convinced that there was going to be not a continuation of Blake 7, obviously, because as I quite agree with Gareth, but a spin-off from it, which was going to be called Servalan and I, or even Avon and I, and you could guess what it was going to be. And I think she was terribly disappointed when it didn't happen, because you do get spin-offs, don't you? All sorts of, because you're going to have sort of green dwarf and black dwarf and all that, aren't you? Mm.
Yeah, I think so. Do you believe all the rumours? Next question.
This is for Gareth and Paul, because some of us are very interested. What projects do you have coming up soon?
Don't forget, Hattie and I are here.
I'm sure you'll remind us, Norman. Yes.
I might do.
We've got to say what we've got coming up now on the horizon.
Who asked that question? I'm sorry.
The lady over there.
And what was the question again? I know I'm fat, but there's only one of me.
Yeah, I hope it don't come up while he's sitting next to me. That's
Me and
all.
Paul. Sex?
Not with you.
He's a nice lad, he's pretty. I'll pass this across to Hattie.
Thank you very much.
They've said what they're going to do. You're going to be doing a thing, aren't you?
Does the thing know?
He's got the variety show coming up tonight.
I'm going to be a storyteller, doing a Christmas show around my local area, village halls and things like that, as the storyteller. I am the storyteller, the tale spinner, and the weaver of dreams. So that's what I'm doing. Paul won't come up and see it, but there you go. Norman said he only lives 35 miles away from me. He won't bloody come down and see me, though.
It could be worse. It could be 35 yards.
But that's what I'm doing. That's what Paul's doing. Next, I have no idea. Oh, well, during the
well, you do actually, because I have this Shakespearean thing that I do for corporate entertainment, and it's sponsored at the moment by BT, which is British Telecom, and MCI, which is a big company over here, which you may have heard of. And it's quite successful, and we've done it in Washington, D.C., over here and over there, not in Washington, D.C., and we're going to be doing it in Brussels and Hertfordshire, and Stratford-upon-Avon, and so on. Brussels and Hertfordshire. And so it's quite fun to do that, and that'll take me up to Christmas, and about halfway through January. And after that, I don't know.
After that, I'm told, he says, up to Christmas, and then stops. He said to me earlier today, he said, "Listen, would you like to join in this?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love to. It's great." He said, "Fine. After Christmas, do so." Now he turns around and says, "It stops at Christmas." That's great.
No.
Thanks, pal.
What I mean is those are the only definite bookings at the moment, but there will be others. And I have, I don't know what came over me. I have asked if Gareth would like to come in with me on it, and he.
Can you imagine Avon as Blake's employer?
I can, yes. No, we're actually employed by the company, but so I just mentioned Gareth's name to the company, and they said who, and they wanted Gareth Hunt, but he can't do it, so there you go. No, they thought it was
he's
a
right.
good idea.
He can't do it.
So hopefully it will be possible. No, they've already done that.
What?
God, this is...
Next question, please.
Okay, I have a question for Hattie and Norman.
Cool.
I was wondering if you had seen the last couple seasons of Red Dwarf, and if you think it works better without Holly.
Did you say do
we think it works better without it?
Without Holly?
Without you?
It?
No.
Not at all.
Just on principle.
It needs Holly back, I think.
Oh, thank you. As long as it's one of us, eh?
Money again, Norman.
Holly rhymes with lolly. And lolly in our country means money as well. It's a slang term for money.
It kind of, I think they thought that Holly kind of stopped the action moving along, but I think it was a base to come back to every time. And it stopped them getting too carried away with special effects and concentrate on the relationship between them, which I thought was more important. I liked it better when there was a stronger relationship between them and less, explosions going off, really.
Are you enjoying this?
Are you? Oh, that's all right.
Good.
I mean, is there an alternative to being here with us?
Is there nowhere else for you to go? Is it raining out?
I mean, isn't there another panel or something that...
I'm just worried about these spikes coming down.
Sorry?
Who said
we're an easy audience? Yeah. Well said.
Oh.
You are a very nice audience. I mean, we...
No, easy means something different over here.
It all goes back to sex in the end, doesn't it?
Okay.
Well, it's either that or money, and now we've got to the bottom of it.
Money and sex, yeah. Just need the drugs. No, we don't. Don't say no.
That lady there's trying to say something.
Sorry. If the microphones worked, it would
I have a
make life
question
a
for
lot
all
easier.
of you.
All right, then.
You were talking earlier about the responsibility to a live audience and not letting them down.
Would you stand up? I can't see where you are.
Would you be willing to...
I'm sorry. Beg your pardon. I couldn't...
Would you be willing to tell us about the most embarrassing time when you did screw up on stage or in front of a live audience?
Oh, I heard that. What was your most embarrassing moment when you did screw up on stage?
Is this to all of us? Yeah.
Select one, Gareth.
Norman's going to do a bit of skipping. What are you doing?
I was going to say, if that was long enough, I'd go out and take the microphone out so it worked, so everyone could hear it, because we can't hear. Yeah, okay. It's just that the fold...
You can hear these, all right?
If this fold back is not working by the start of the variety show, I refuse to go on.
Norman.
You're
Prima
starting
donna.
mutiny, Norman.
Sweet man, difficult artist.
What? Have we screwed up on stage?
Yeah, worst moment on stage.
Well, there was once I was doing my stand-up act somewhere, and halfway through, I do look at my watch occasionally when I'm doing an hour on stage as stand-up. I do look at my watch quite blatantly.
So does the audience.
And, we'll see how good you are later.
Promise or threat?
You see, the thing about comedians is a lot of comedians can act very well. And a lot of actors think they can be comedians. But they can't. It never works like that. God never allowed it. The worst moment was I was doing this show and I looked at my watch and it was like 20 minutes to go and I'd run out of material. In my mind, I'd gone, my God, you know, I'm going to have to ad-lib this last 20 minutes. And for about a few seconds, until it came to me, some other material came to me. For that few moments, I felt terrible because I thought I'm supposed to do an hour here, and I've got 20 minutes to go, and I can't think of what to do. But it always comes if you relax. You know, you'll always go on, and you'll always have something to say. I seem to always have something to say.
You're not doing an hour tonight, are you?
No, no, and nor are you.
No. Oh, right.
And another thing, I did a play. I've only acted on the stage once. I played Clegg the Butler at Watford Palace Theatre once, and I went on with a really good actor in Britain called Tony. McDonald. Tony.
Is that good, huh?
I've forgotten what his name. I've forgotten his name. It's terrible. He'll kill me. He's
you
a
mean
great.
Paul Darrow?
He was in Mike Lee, Nuts in May, the little Welsh guy.
Oh, I know.
What's his name? Tony.
No, I can't remember his name. He's very good. Yeah.
He's a great.
Yeah.
And I had
He's Welsh, he's got to be.
And he forgot his line, and it was like sheer hell. It was a horrible feeling, but we got through it, you know. But it's very frightening when that does happen, but it's quite rare, I'm pleased to say. The end.
You're obviously awfully good, Norman. It's actually not that rare for us.
Well, I don't do stage acting. That's the only time I've done it. So.
No. I think probably my worst experience is many years ago, doing a Christmas show, Brer Rabbit, playing Brer Bear. Can't think why. And long conversation with Brer. I was Brer Bear. Brer. Can't remember what. Anyway, but one-liners, non-stop for about 5-6 pages. And we're going through this, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and we're going through bang, 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 one line. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I saw the panic in his eyes, and he saw the panic in my eyes, and we thought, what's wrong, for God's sake? And I realized I was saying his lines, and he was saying my line. Oh, my God. I can't actually remember how we got out of it. We did get out of it, but I mean, that is panic.
Frightening.
I think probably, well, it's fun now looking back on it, but probably my worst one doing stand-up was I was doing stand-up at this club. It was called the Tunnel Club, which was notorious for having terrible football supporters in it. And I was standing on stage, and the gents' toilet was behind, kind of to the left. And this man came out of the toilets, walked across the back of the stage, walked towards me and lifted my dress up over my head. So I went a bit frantic and punched him in the face, and we just ended up having this punch-up on stage.
Good for you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's splendid. Oh, it's my turn, is it? I never have any problems. No, 3 years ago I played, I suppose I can say Macbeth, can I? Is all right? I played Macbeth, and the fellow who's playing Macduff, who actually has to kill Macbeth at the end, was 6'4", and really much younger than I. And he was terrified of me for some reason. And he wasn't very good in the fight at the end with the broadswords. And without telling me, the director went to see him and said, look, you're an absolute wimp in this role. You've really got to go for Paul on this. Didn't tell me. And there I was thinking, oh, here he comes, wimpy. I'll have to pretend he gets me. You know? And he came for me, wallop, and he cut me with this broadsword. And it's not actually in the script. And I went, Jesus Christ. And I went for him. And he's going, I have to win, I have to win. And it was terrifying because he'd obviously, it was all right, but that's pretty nasty.
Another question, quickly, another question there. Oh, God,
How long
Debbie's
we got,
at it
Debbie?
again. Have you met Jane Collins?
I've got one really quick question.
Last question.
It's for everyone. Ladies first. How did you all get started in the entertainment business?
Good question.
Mine was through having 8 Southern Comforts and then getting up on stage and moaning about my life at the time. So that's the short answer to it.
I started quite late in my early 30s, and I always liked comedy, and I was pushed into it by friends who said I was funny at school, and but you know, all this rubbish
You're
about...
still at school in your early 30s, no?
No, they just remembered me at school.
Oh.
All this rubbish about comedians saying, oh, I was bullied at school, and so I made them laugh. I made the bully laugh to stop them bullying me. You can't make anyone laugh if you're petrified. So it's a load of rubbish. But I was sort of pushed into it, and you know, by people. So, and then I started then.
Oh, I was a schoolboy, and I went to see Gareth playing King Lear, and it inspired me so much to follow. No, seriously, I love the movies, and I used to go a lot when I was little, and I thought, oh, I'd love to make movies, but I'd like to be the guy behind it all, the producer and director and all that. And then I saw a film, and it said produced by Hecht, Hill and Lancaster, and Lancaster was Bert, sadly no longer with us, and I thought, that's a good idea. He's become a producer through being an actor, so I'll become an actor first, then I'll become a producer. And for some reason or other, I didn't produce anything until recently. But there you are. That's how I started, and I know it's not all that entertaining, but there you are.
Sorry.
It's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Accident. I just decided to carry on being a student. I'd been a university student, and I'd left university, and I'd bummed around for a bit and written a bit and done various things. And I thought, well, I'll go back to drama school. I'll try drama school. Got in, loved it, and just carried on. And halfway through the 3-year course, I came downstairs and said, I like this game. I like it. If I can actually pay for all the things I have to pay for and carry on doing this, I'll do it. And I failed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much for all your questions. Thanks. So we'll say goodbye to you now.
Well, say au revoir.
Bye-bye.
Yes, au revoir.
Au revoir. I've got all the seats. I've got everybody's face in my mind. If you're not here tomorrow, you're in trouble. But if not, I'll see you in the bar.
Don't forget the variety show.
Oh, the variety show. Absolute bloody silence. It's wonderful, isn't it? We're going to come down here, work our asses off. There's going to be nobody here. You won't forget, will you? I can't hear you!
And next is the evil cyber leader, Mr. David Banks. Next is our unit representative, Mr. John Levene. Finally, from Australia, Mr. Mark Strickson. What are we here for? Oh, yes.
We have a male companion whose microphone isn't working.
Anyway, well, let's go in reverse order from the early, not too early years, John.
Thank you.
Not too early years. Perhaps you'd like to say how you got the job as a Doctor Who companion.
Well, funnily enough, I'd just been to the dealer's room, and it was no big deal. And There's a magazine in there all about UNIT. It costs $6, but they let me have it for 7. And somebody asked me the other day, how did I get the part? And the interesting thing is I opened the first, this is absolutely true at the press conference just now, I opened the magazine up and there was a picture of, in the Web of Fear, with the Yeti, with the soldier, the actor that played the soldier that got the sack for being late. If you're in a professional business and you're late 3 studio days running, under section 429/486D of the Equity Code, did you believe it? That you get the sack. And this guy got the sack, and I was a Yeti at the time, and Douglas Camfield, who was the director, always liked me. In fact, I think he loved me. And we got a very happy marriage, and I got the part, and it was the first time I'd seen the picture of the soldier whose place I took. So I got it by having been a walk-on. It's what you call 1 in 1,000 opportunities, and I ended up as Benton, and I thank God for it. Thank you.
And next, of course, Turlo. A different way of getting into the series, I think, than being...
Yeah, I had a drink with the producer. I'm good at getting jobs at the bar. Although my agent at one point said, I was doing the job, she said, now, the producer of this doesn't drink the bar, go to bed at 9 o'clock and don't go to the bar. So how did I get the job? I was working on Angels. I was playing a roomy ambulanceman called Telly with such inspiring lines as, oh, would you like to go out for a cup of coffee tonight, Alison? And all that sort of thing. Wonderful stuff. If you wanted to sit down at 6:30 and watch programmes about somebody with a prolapsed bladder, it was great entertainment. I was doing that, and the guy who was playing the lead, a guy called Al Ashton, got very ill. And they needed somebody quickly to take over the lead, and without asking me, they wrote me in as the lead in Angels. I did not want to be the lead in Angels, but I was, like all actors, I mean, you need a job, you need work. So I rang up my agent and I said, Jan, is there anything else I'm up for? Is there any way I can get out of working in Birmingham for the next 2 years with this fat girl called Alison? And Jan said, well, you're up for a part in Doctor Who. And but she said, they're not really seeing people for another 3 weeks, and it's the only thing you're up for, Mark. And I had to make a decision on this soap. So I thought, well, I'll take it into my own hands. And I went and knocked on the Doctor Who office door, because the BBC is quite a small place, it's not a big thing. And I said, could I speak to the producer, please? And John was in his office and wasn't obviously kind of being very busy. And I said, look, you don't know me, but my name's Mark Strickson. I was going to be coming to see you about the new part in Doctor Who. I'll tell you what the situation is, honesty is the best policy. I told him about the situation with Angels, told him I didn't want to do the job, and would be very grateful if I could read for him. So I read for him, read for Eric. He said, go home, don't go out, stay near the phone. So I went home, and I stayed near the phone, and I got the job. But why did I get the job? How did I get the job? It wasn't because I was stunningly, marvellously, wonderfully talented. It was because I found out that the producer of Angels had gone down. Somebody had spotted me going into the Doctor Who office. And her spies. She found this out. She'd gone down, walked into John's office and said, you cannot have Mark Strickson, John. And John said, anybody who walks in my office and says, you can't have Mark Strickson, I'm going to have Mark Strickson. I said, so I got it, because, Julie Smith walked in John's office and told him he couldn't use me. That's how I got the part.
You, of course, are probably better known for being the cyber leader, but you've also been a Doctor Who companion, though perhaps very tenuously, as a mercenary in The Ultimate Adventure, the Doctor Who stage play, and played Carl with a K.
A companion? With companions like that, you don't need enemies, do you? Yes, I was. Oh. No, I wasn't. What do you want me to say? About how I got that, or... Oh, well, there's a guy... Does anybody know a guy who's a veteran fan called Adrian Rigglesford? No, he's not known over here. That's probably a good thing, because most of what he says is utter lies. If he says something, then it's a bit like JNT and Julia Smith, you just believe the opposite. But he rang me up one day and he said there's going to be a stage show of Doctor Who, featuring the Daleks and the Cybermen. And So I thought, well, that stops that one. I had hoped there'd be a show sometime, but of course there never will be now. But in fact, he was telling the truth for once. This is terrible, isn't it? I hope it isn't. Is this being videoed? Is it going back to you? Good. Because every word of it is true. Anyway, I got my agent onto it. My agent had heard something about the producer who was doing the show. I said, I don't want to play a Cyberman on stage because having put the costume on 2-3 times in the last decade, I knew that putting it on 8 times a week for a 26-week tour would be hell. So I said, if there's any other part going in that, which seems anywhere near decent, then I'd like to be considered. So I got the part that was nowhere near decent, didn't I? Because I suppose Carl was the most indecent character in the show. And what I did, Carol, the director, Carol, I knew her quite well. Carol, she was seeing people, she didn't know me at all. I went in there and I took my Cyberman book along with me and just and handed it over to her and said that I'd been on the show quite a lot and, you know, I knew a lot about Cyberman. I didn't want to play one, but I thought I could play a good baddie, if you know what I mean. And so they seemed to believe me, so that's how I got the job.
But an evil companion, really, because he was trying to kill the Doctor most of the time more than...
Yes, can I just open this discussion up a little wider here? I mean, well, Mark's a companion, but I don't think...
I wasn't brought in as a companion.
What's
the title of this thing? The Doctor Who Companions or something?
It's
I wasn't brought in as a companion. That was the whole point about my character. The whole point about my character was there was the Doctor and 3 companions, right? Nissa, Tegan, and the one played by Matthew Adrian. And so every time you got to the TARDIS, you were riding a crowd scene. I mean, most Doctor Who scenes last 40 seconds. Well, if you give 4 people a line each, and let's say you're being generous and you give the Doctor 2, that's your scene. So it was completely impossible. So the idea of bringing my character in was to bring it down to the Doctor and a girl assistant and just have another long-running character, not a companion. Basic difference being I was supposed to have a brain. And as you know, companions don't have brains. You can spot it. In fact, it didn't really work as an idea in the end, because in the context of a 30-minute episode, you can really only have the Doctor, the baddie of the week, and once you bring in another plot, it doesn't really work, which was why once I stopped being the main plot, I got tied up by the baddies in episode 1, raped and pillaged off stage during episodes 2 and 3, and brought on looking a little flushed around the cheeks in episode 4 again. So that was it. So I'm not a companion. What about you, John? You're not a companion.
Well, then, Mr. Because when my character came to prominence, if you like, I mean, what a strong force I had against me. I mean, Roger Delgado as the Master, Nicholas Courtney, the brilliant Brigadier, Captain Yates, we'll leave that one, Joe Grant, Katie Manning, and Benton came in. Whatever happened, if the program was running short, they would build my part up, which I was very grateful for. And when it was running too long, they'd cut it off, which I didn't. Well, that's very grateful for. And then in the end, I couldn't actually believe I got parts as big as the 3 Doctors and the Green Death. So the unit thing really did take off, and it lasted for 5.5 years. And I've said it 1,000 times. It really is I wouldn't have played anyone else other than Benton. Not that I had a choice, but I remember I went to the BBC and I said, my name is John Levene, I'm an actor. The guy interviewed me, he said, don't worry, John, your secret's safe with me. And I thought, it's not a good start, But no, it was wonderful. And UNIT really is, I've seen by the way you like us all, and the magazines are still doing UNIT. And of course, having been a Cyberman, the same as young David here, I'm his father. I'm his Cyberman father. I'm a Cyber dad, yeah.
Let's have some questions from the audience.
Yeah, anything really nice.
Somebody over here?
Could we have just a bit of house lights up, Neil?
Wave madly so we can see you if you've got a question, because we can't really see anything.
Neil, or could we have a few house lights just to make this slightly warmer? I think they're right.
My question for Mark was Turbo's character originally planned to have been written out after Third Black Guardian, and did they keep you around because you were an interesting character.
Yeah, I understand the question. Yeah, was Turner as a character originally written around the Black Guardian, and did they keep me around just because it was an interesting character and something good to keep in the series? No, Turner was brought in as a long-running character. One of the things I could never understand, there are many things I could never understand about Doctor Who, one of the major things I couldn't understand about Doctor Who was that I came into the Black Guardian, and there was all that, but when I went out, it didn't have anything to do with the Black Guardian, or really very much to do with the Black Guardian. The plot was never resolved. So I see your point. It all became a bit of a mess. I think that's to do with the fact of what I was saying about my character, that it was so... Turner was a very strong character, and it was so difficult to use Turner. And we sat down once and we were having real problems, and John Nathan Turner sat Peter, me and Janet down and said, we've got a problem, we've got 3 doctors, and we only need 1. They are, that sort of sums it up.
Okay, any more questions? Yes, lady in the front. What do we do now? And the Dalek Emperor said, precisely. Get out of there, you can't.
That reminds me of the story about Chameleon, that robot. I mean, I'll tell you, this isn't a story, I'll tell you that in a minute. I'll tell you, I mean, actually in Doctor Who I didn't make many cock-ups, or the ones I did are all on the screen, so you've seen them anyway. But the worst moment of my life as an actor, one of the funniest moments, was I was doing Ibsen's Ghosts, and we had a very arty director. You don't have to know the plot of the play, but I was playing a character called Oswald, who's the sort of lead young man in it. And he's supposed to look very much like his father, and he smokes this huge meerschaum pipe, which is a big pipe like that, with a big bowl here full of tobacco, which exactly like his father smoked. And you see him, and the first time, as he comes on, one of the other characters says, oh, he looks just like his father. And the director had this arty shot of having the set clear behind, and me with a silhouette lighting this pipe. And on the first night, you know, your nerves get to you a bit on the first night. On the first night, I lit the pipe, lovely arty shot, you know, sort of 30 foot of me lighting this pipe at the back of the stage, and then I dropped it on the floor. A great big silhouette of an actor going, trying to find the bloody pipe. And it's absolutely crucial that you have this pipe for this part, because 25 minutes in, his mother says, would you put that pipe out? I can't stand the smoke. Now, I don't remember the first 25 minutes of that first night, because I managed to get as much tobacco as I could off the floor and into the pipe, having done my first 4 lines off stage, shouting them as I was beating the tobacco. I wandered on. It's supposed to be this terribly smooth character, completely dishevelled, ash on my knees, my hands covered in ash, and I spent the next 25 minutes doing my lines, completely, you know, not thinking about them, going through a whole box of matches trying to get this pipe lit. My wife was in the audience, and I could hear she was in hysterical laughter. She had to leave. She was embarrassing herself. And when I got, I mean, I was sitting on the stage, surrounded by matches everywhere, piles of matches. That's the worst and funniest thing that's ever happened to me. The thing about what you were saying, I mean, it's extraordinary that if you remember the robot called Chameleon that's in Doctor Who, we were given a budget of $4,000, basically, $3,500 to build that robot. Well, you can't do it, and they did exactly the same thing as you had. They put set tapes in, so that the guys down at the little place where they make robots in the BBC, that is the robot laboratory, they do these tapes and do all the lines. So you'd have 10 lines, right? And they would leave the space for you to get your words in. But they would leave either a huge space or a little space. So, I mean, just to use a sort of a made-up line, you know, you'd say, how you going, Chameleon? And Chameleon would look at you and say, I'm fine. What are you doing, Turbo? And then you'd have about 3 lines, and that would be, and Chameleon would say, very interesting. But the trouble was, he'd say, you know, what are you doing, Turbo? And you'd start off and you'd say, well, actually, I'm just filling with the time. And he'd come in and say, very interesting. So you had this symbolic situation where you either had to say, well, I have just repaired a handle on the TARDIS. Or you have to say, well, just repaired a handle on the TARDIS, and you've got it, really interesting. You know, it's just completely impossible. So you got these absolutely hysterical scenes. And you could see that when Peter was working, when I was with, it was like working with a dog. You know, you didn't know it was going to bite you. Try and get him, you like quickly! And there'd be a pause, and nothing would happen, and you'd sort of relax. And then he'd come up with something, and it would usually, and they'd come in the wrong order as well, the lines. I mean, it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, that was when Chameleon was in one piece. I mean, usually you'd go and we'd say, okay, on we go, studio, Chameleon scene, and you'd walk in and there would literally be a leg, you know? A few limbs scattered about. Never worked with children or robots.
One of the saddest things about Chameleon, of course, was that the bloke who actually designed the machine died without leaving any proper instructions as to how it works. So no wonder Peter Davison had so many problems. There's another question from the audience. Well, there's not another question from the audience.
What are you talking about? A question for you?
Yes, that's it.
If you all were never involved in Doctor Who, what would your favorite colors have been?
One for you, David, I think.
I think you should ask that one. Give me some left. No, I didn't understand a word of that. But, if you were never in Doctor Who, what would your favourite colours have been? Colour, have been.
Humour him, answer it. You might get violent.
That's a good question.
It's obviously near the edge.
It's over here. Just third row back. Okay.
Blue has always been my favourite colour. What's that going to do with blue or white? No, blue, I've always liked blue.
That's very nice for you.
I've always liked blue. Keep thinking of it. I've always liked blue. Mark, I've always liked blue. Any more stupid questions? Thank you very much, sir. Yes, my dear. Where did you get this lot from?
Did any of you have a say in what your costumes would be?
Well, apart from the Mind of Evil, where I was dressed in a diaper, and now I can tell the story. I mean, it's always embarrassed me, but I'm just a boring, middle-aged, heterosexual male with nothing much exciting about me. But the dressers at the BBC, as in most theatrical companies, are, to put the nice word on it, slightly gay. And I remember one of them asked me if I was gay, and I said, no, I'm not. I said, gay, I'm not even bloody happy. And when I had this diaper scene, I think a couple of them liked me. And they rigged the pin. They rigged the pin, and Pertwee knew about it, Katie Manning knew about it. And little Johnny Levene, who wasn't the most confident of actors, which if any of you have seen me, I mean, now I'm okay, but all those years ago I was slightly worried about not being that good, and now I've seen the shows, I realise I wasn't. And they rigged the pin, so that when I stood up, because you remember the scene, I can't call it a famous scene, that sounds pretentious, but it was a famous scene. My mum loved it, and I had to stand there, they said, where's Benton? Because I shrunk to a baby when all the stuff came out of that thing. Or was that how I was made? I can't remember. Anyway, I
made a great mistake of trying to talk about the plot, haven't you? You know, now to try and deal with any details in Doctor Who.
No, there isn't. There aren't any details. Anyway, I stood up and the pin didn't give, I'm glad to say. Otherwise, there would have been a nuclear fallout and the show would have done. But that was my dreaded moment, and I dreaded it, and they were all peering, all the dressers were peering around the stage going, ooh, you know. But their ooze didn't come to anything. Thank you very much.
I had the advantage for Silver Nemesis to be approached by the designer about 3 months before we actually did the production about the cyber costume. You know, how should it be developed so that it wouldn't cause so much discomfort to the actors? Which it's a remarkable thing. It's never happened before. I've never heard anybody talk about it happening to them. So I felt very privileged about this. One thing that was done was to make larger the helmet that we wore, because too many fans, no, sorry, not fans, what am I talking about? No, too many extras had been,
this is your fault, you started it.
too many green extras. Too many extras had been taken away and screaming and foaming at the mouth because they couldn't stand the claustrophobia of being screwed into the mask. And still, we were screwed into the mask in Earthshock. We had to have the AFM standing by with screwdrivers, and first find your AFM if you wanted to scratch your nose or something. It's a dreadful thing. Anyway. They cottoned on that this was an unkind thing to do to actors the fourth time that I did it. And Sir Richard Croft, I think that was his name, the designer, rang me up and we discussed it. And I said, well, one difficult thing is what we call cyber nose. Because the helmet is so small that your nose, especially if it's a nose like mine, if it's big enough, it rubs on the... well, no, not the wire mesh, but that might have been preferable, really. It rubbed on the glass fibre. And if anybody knows glass fibre intimately, you'll know that it breaks into very, very small pieces and gets in your skin. If you try putting insulating rock wool or something up in your roof, you prickle all over. And so the nose becomes kind of prickly and red. That's cyber nose, technically. And I thought that, it would be quite a good advance in cyber technology if we could avoid this. So we got down to the drawing board. And we solved that by just making the helmet bigger. That was very elegant because it solved two things at once. And the other thing was, getting wet. We all got wet inside the costumes. Not because we were excited. It was exciting at times. But not all the time. That's all I'm saying. And it wasn't because we couldn't get out of the costumes. We were given breaks at times. But the reason that we had to empty our boots at the end of the show was because I'm sorry, I'm an honest, direct person. I just have to say how it is. If you're in a suit which has been covered in latex, it covers up all the breathing spaces, you see. Now, we breathe all the time through our skin, as well as through our mouths. And we exude sweat. And if it can't evaporate, where does it go? I mean... Excuse me. We weren't filming on the moon or in space. We had gravity, so it kind of trickled down and ended up in the boot. That's all I'm saying. So that was the second problem. That was the second problem that the Cybermen had to overcome. There were more problems? We'll see. And so I suggested to Richard that perhaps the rubber needn't be so rubbery. And that's what we got. He made a lighter suit as well. Instead of the heavy cotton boiler suit, it was a nice, much lighter suit. I don't know what it was made of. And instead of putting the rubber on, he put a kind of lattice work of silver. Enjoying yourselves?
All right, to have to be a Cyberman in the next one, I'll tell you. I'm coming back. That sounds good, doesn't it?
If I may be allowed to finish. Because this story does have a point. It's so long ago now, but do you remember Cyber Nose? Well, keep that in mind. Practicing for the camera, I thought this was the camera. Shall I continue? Well, the long and the short of it is this. The suit was light, we didn't sweat, it was wonderful to wear, it was hot, hot summer days when we were filming Silver Nemesis. The only trouble was that when we sat down, the trousers split. And they either split at the back or they split at the front. So the cyber race developed from cyber nose, which they got over, to having cyber bum and cyber crutch.
This is David's first convention in America, and I think possibly his last.
Mark, of course, you had...
What was the question?
Did you get to choose your costume, schoolboy uniform?
Well, yeah, I've always been a bit kinky. If I couldn't have latex, I wanted a schoolboy uniform. No, I didn't really get to choose. I went out with the wardrobe lady, and John said, look, go out and we want you dressed as a schoolboy. Well, it's not really very exciting to dress as a schoolboy, so what do you do? But John had this idea where he wanted a sort of coloured blazer, cricket blazer, you know, white flannels and a boater and all that. And I thought, I'm going to look right tit on there if I have that. So we went out and we bought this black suit and things, and I walked in the office and John said, Mark, you look like a funeral director. I said, John, that is the idea. We have all these people walking around in rainbow-coloured costumes. I thought, you know, it might be nice to have a character that you knew who he was every time you saw him. Might help people latch on to the plot, which is tenuous at the best of times in Doctor Who, you know. At least we'll know who the regulars are. And, so that was the idea, and John let me do that. I don't know if you were at the auction this morning, but John thought that the costume was a bit boring, so he let John choose the socks. And so John chose fluorescent socks, which I just tried to keep my trousers pulled down over. It pleased John. The only thing was that Janet Fielding kept saying all the way through it, it's not fair, you see the girls' legs, why can't we see Mark's? And I remember sitting in a bar, I was standing in a bar in Wales we were filming, and I turned around and Janet was giggling hysterically with this production manager. And I said, what are you doing, Fielding? What are you talking about? She just said, oh, we're just saying what good legs you've got, Mark, you know, and how nice it would be to see you in shorts. And this production manager then went to the wardrobe department, and eventually John came up to me and he said, Mark, I've got an idea for you. How about shorts? So I said, John, got an idea for you? No. But then when we filmed the last one in Lanzarote, I couldn't really say no because it was really hot in Lanzarote. And so that's why I ended up in shorts in Lanzarote. So, the trouble with television is, I don't know whether you know this, but when you meet a lot of actors, they're much thinner than you think they are on television. Have you ever noticed that? They're also much smaller, a lot of actors. Because television does this, it goes... Right, it puts a stone of weight on. The minute you go on camera, on a TV camera, it puts a stone of weight on. And so you get these, I mean, believe it or not, in the last sort of two or 3 years, just before I left England, I was playing real thugs for the most part. I was starting to look, you know, huge on television. And I'm not huge, but it just adds so much weight on. So all I thought was that when I had those shorts on in Doctor Who, because it went like that, it looked as if I had no legs. Oh, yeah. I mean, I got paranoid about it, but Janet didn't seem to have any problems, and she kept pinching my bum when she came into the studio to watch it. She wasn't in that, she just came in to sexually harass me.
I want to hear David's story all over again. Any more questions, please? This has really been a marvellous, best panel of... It's wonderful. Yes, sir.
Has Hollywood changed you at all?
Still the same old homeboy.
No. It's interesting. Hollywood, gosh, it's interesting. I just fell on my feet, really. Whilst I don't have the green card, which we won't go into because there's millions of people who don't have a green card, I've latched on to some rather nice things. I ended up doing charity, because I've always been a bit charitable, especially with other people's money. And I met, by pure accident, Robert Wagner. He is the guy that fronts this tennis classic, which goes up on ESPN every year. And it's for battered women and abused children. And I just happened to get involved because of my voice. They wanted an English announcer instead of an American announcer. And I went along, and the only connection I had with Robert Wagner is that my real name is, I was born John Anthony Woods, right? And when I became an actor at the age of 24, I had to get into equity very, very quickly. I had half an hour to get through the closed door situation. You know, all unions have closed doors, and I didn't bribe the secretary, but I had to talk very sweetly to her. In fact, I spoke so sweetly, she ended up with diabetes. And I think that's a joke. No. And then along with the short of it is, they said, okay, very quickly, fill the format, what is your name? And I said, well, and I hadn't even thought about it. In fact, if you were to ask Mark, I think Mark's name is his real name, but most actors, and I thought, well, Kirk Douglas is gone, Burt Lancaster's been used, Rock Hudson, you know. And so I said, John Woods. And she said, well, you can't have that. And she said, there's already a John Wood, a very famous Shakespearean actor. And so I said, okay. And I thought, what am I going to use? I mean, where do you pull a name that you're going to keep with you for the rest of your life? Didn't even think about it. That's what you call being dumb. So I said, well, John Anthony, because in the 60s, there was lots of things like, you know, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and there's a lot of first name names. So she said, no, we've got a John Anthony. I said, well, Anthony John. And now the time is running out, and I'd been, well, that's another part of the story, but I'd been offered a small part in The Dirty Dozen by Telly Savalas, who I'd served in a menswear shop 2 months before. It sounds like a lie, isn't it? Anyway, I couldn't get the name, and in the end, she said, well, look, John, you know, you've had it, we're never going to get it, and I couldn't think of it, and in the end, I looked out of Equity's window at Harley Street, number 8 Harley Street, still remember that, and opposite was a boxing promoter's office called Harry Levene, boxing promoter, and I said, John Levene, not knowing it was Jewish or Arabian or English or whatever. And so I ended up with John Levene. Now I found out 20 years later that I lost a lot of work because it's as Jewish a name as you can get. Or oy vey, isn't it? Because you know what the great Jewish dilemma is, don't you? Free pork. Now listen. Oh, all right, no, won't use that one again. So I ended up with John Levene. And then 4 years ago, I was on the ships in the Caribbean, and a producer wanted to do the movie that I half written. And he said, what's your name? And I thought, I mustn't have Levene. I'm sick to death of it. I hated it. I didn't like the sound of it and all that. On top of which, Douglas Campion, who made my character all those years ago, he said, I don't know why you chose a Jewish name because you're so Anglo-Saxon. So I got a dictionary and found out what that meant. I went back and hit him in the face. So I ended up 3 years ago taking my mother's maiden name, which is Blake, which is very, very English, and our ancestors go back to 1218, I found out. And so I'm now John Anthony Blake. And that's my name. I've forgotten the bleeding question. Oh, Hollywood, yeah. So because of this... It's been a long day. Because of this name, it's ironic that the very first phone call I make, which I did on the advice of someone who had seen me perform at a convention, when they said, what's your name? I said, John Anthony Blake. They booked me immediately. And I thought, isn't that weird? So I ended up working, and I'm now working and producing the whole show, which I'm over the moon about, and who wouldn't be? I'm working with 40 Hollywood stars, including, you know, Robert Stack and all the A-Team, Dirk Benedict and whatever, and I'm producing it because I have been producing for 15 years, and I used to do laser shows, and I took Disney around Europe and all that stuff. I mean, it's difficult to say what we've done in our lives because we've all done so much. I mean, everybody's done so much, not just us. So that's it. I'm now John Anthony Blake, and Hollywood has been very good to me. I missed a part in Star Trek 4 months ago, simply because I didn't have my green card, which chokes me now. I kept it quiet originally because I thought that Star Trek office might think I was trying to get in on their name. But I think most of you have heard that Patrick Stewart had invited me to the studio because he'd seen something I'd done. So there I am in the Hollywood Star Trek studio doing live pledge drives for KCET, which is the public broadcasting, then producing Robert Wagner. So in answer to your question, it's treated me fine, but I'm not earning any money. It's charity. So just to let you know that although I'm working with the big uns, and they're very charming, Robert Wagner is an absolute... Oh, I know I wanted very quickly. My name was Woods, right? And when my daughter was born, at the very month that Robert Wagner was in England doing the Colditz series, which was a British war escape story, I bumped into him in the line waiting for food. And I wanted to name my daughter Natalie, and we would have ended up with a daughter named Natalie Woods. And then I see Robert Wagner the next week, and I went up just to speak to him, because I was young at the time. And I said, you know, Natalie Wood, who was one of the most beautiful women in the world, I think, I always thought she was brilliant. And I said, would you mind me calling my daughter Natalie Woods? And then the next time I saw him after that was on this show which I'm now producing. So Hollywood's been good to me. Thank you very much. Oh, good night, and thank you very much.
There's a question over there. Yeah.
Which female actress raised our individual blood pressures? Are you related to this guy over here? That's a very sensible question, I think. Let me tell you about it. I don't think he's going to.
If you're in a Cyberman costume, you have to keep your emotions well under control.
Too right. Louise Jameson. Louise Jameson. Do you remember her? Before I was connected with Doctor Who, I did a tour of a play. It was a restoration comedy called, what was it called? The Relapse. It was called The Relapse. And Louise had just come out of Doctor Who, and she was playing my lover in that play. And she didn't become my lover, I must say, but she raised my blood pressure. And I quite often think of, she often massaged my neck, you know? For no reason, she'd just come behind me and start massaging my neck. And, you know, I quite often think of those times. Next. I'll tell you who, well, didn't raise my blood pressure, because I don't think I have any, but I'll tell you who I have thoroughly enjoyed this week, and she was so wonderful compared to some of the people. I think Mary Tam is a lovely lady. I came to the conclusion today. Mary Tam is exactly what I like her. She's a strong. I think, you know, women, you have your time has to come, because we, you know, and you should. You're wonderful, and it's wonderful. And I love women that are strong and that have their own minds and force their own careers, because, you know, we chauvinist big. And but Mary Tam is a lovely, but she hasn't raised my blood pressure. I can't think of who. Natalie Wood raised my blood pressure. There you are. I got that out of that. That's your daughter.
I find it difficult to know where to start. Perhaps I'm easily pleased. I don't know. I adore women. I mean, life would not be worth living for me without women. So, really. One of the most marvellous things about doing Doctor Who conventions is, I think Mary's lovely. I think Deborah is absolutely wonderful. I get paid to sit next to these beautiful women. I go out to supper with them and have a wonderful time. It's absolutely lovely. Janet, I work with Janet. Janet has got the most divine eyes. You can get lost in Janet's eyes. Sarah, I just think she's absolutely wonderful. She's got this fantastic skin. It's so soft. Nicola had the most... No, I'm not going to talk about it. As you can see, I'm easily pleased, but they're all, I think, just so many beautiful women, and particularly beautiful women in Doctor Who. I count myself as a very lucky man.
Okay, could we ask another question? Yes, sir.
When you did the Doctor for Alien Surgery, could you explain a little bit about your characterizations, how you went about playing the role?
Yeah, it's not funny, though. No? Did you say Aileen Pertwee? I thought it was his sister. Aileen Pertwee. Oh, Aileen Pertwee. Yeah. Come on, guys. Well, green, to get back to that cousin's question, green. Does that answer it? It's just, I said something about it yesterday, that there's a green element in the show, an environmental element. And I just wanted to take that out, wear natural fibres, no socks. Actually, these are the shoes. These are the very shoes. I'm talking about the Ultimate Adventure here. Right. I wore these very shoes as the Doctor, without socks.
and a Greenpeace T-shirt. So that was the green element. So, you know, this guy's a genius. He asked that question half an hour ago, and there's your answer, sir.
Okay, any more before this gets out of hand? Yes, ma'am.
Could you share some of the shenanigans and practical jokes that went on in the set with your prospective doctor?
Shenanigans or practical jokes? I mean, I worked really one so-called shenanigan about working with the TARDIS. And nothing on the TARDIS works at all. It was something that Peter showed me. And if you, for example, there's an actor, if the camera's there, and there's an actor there, and you're here standing by the TARDIS, and you know, this actor didn't buy you a drink at lunchtime or something, you know, it's been a pain in the arse, and he's got this marvellous long speech. He's only got 4 lines in the whole programme, and, you know, these are them. You can completely ruin it by just fiddling with the TARDIS. Just run your hand gently over it. Doesn't get picked up by anybody at the time, but when the sound guys are looking back at it, they see you're fiddling with the TARDIS, and so all the way through somebody else's speech you get... a few gags like that, usually.
Well, we had John Pertwee, as I say, I think we all love our own particular doctors, and John was a busy guy. I mean, he used to do cabaret 4 nights a week, he was doing Words of Gamut and all that stuff. And John sometimes used to cut certain sections of his dialogue out of his script and stick on the inside of the door of the TARDIS, or if you were doing a scientific experiment, when you heard him do things like, you know, we must reverse the polarity of the neutron proton, he was actually reading it. And one day, it was an obvious thing to do, but Katie and I decided to change your mind. He did the end of the show at the beginning and never realised it. He never even realised it. So like the opening scene would be the closing scene's dialogue. And he wouldn't touch it, you know, so, and again, and it was just incredible. But there's so many stories, isn't there? You really could go on all night, because it was such fun. I remember, I mean, just very briefly, and I will be brief, I used to live near John Pertwee, and Katie Manning had an apartment just round from Acton, and Roger Delgado lived in Twickenham. And John Pertwee always had expensive cars, because he used to do racing car driving. Brooklyn was interesting, I think. And so I never had a car, because if you saw the fee I earned in Doctor Who, I couldn't even get a bicycle. And I used to pick John up, get the bus to his house. He used to let me drive his Lancia DB6/4. I love numbers. And we used to go and pick Katie Manning up, and it was a laugh from the moment, from 8:30 in the morning till we got there. We used to see Roger Delgado. He loved his television, and he loved and adored his wife. He was one of those men who had a love for his wife, which was inspirational, if you are capable of loving, and we all are, of course, although we get it beaten out of us a lot. And Roger would go in, and Roger would be, he always had his very tiny nails, and he'd be filing his nails, and a black master's beard. And like, we work all week with him saying things like, I'll get you, Sergeant Benton, death to the earth, and everything. There's Roger saying, what's on TV tonight then? Like from the ruler of the earth to, I think, Coronation Street and then the movie. And he ended up with these perfect nails, and that's my memory of Roger Delgado.
Have you heard of the RSPCC? It's a British... Have you heard of that? Yeah. The Royal Society for the Protection of Cruelty to Cybermen. So the point is that, you know, nobody could ever play practical jokes on a Cyberman because it's cruel enough as it is to keep them in those suits. Can you imagine?
Question time. Yes, Michael. John Pertwee loved gimmicks. He, like all doctors, wanted to make his doctor different, you know? I mean, you saw the transition from one doctor to another. And John Pertwee was, I mean, in a sense, John's a show-off. I mean, like, I don't mean that nastily, but he loves to be, he's 6'5", he got a shock of white hair, which is all his own, and he loved wearing clothes and ruffled shirts. And he came from quite a well-off family, you know, and so his background was quite sort of well-educated and so on. And he'd been scuba diving for 50 years, and he used to get brilliant pieces of gold from wrecks out near his home in Ibiza, which is near Spain, and all that. And when I had joined and become comfortable in the show, when I realised that I wasn't a bad actor after all, or whatever, and we became comfortable, the stories were coming in, and all our parts were growing, and John wanted more and more gimmicks. And when we got the Who Won, the hovercraft, we believed it was a hovercraft until we saw the wheels, and we only saw the wheels when the wind blew and blew the flap that covered the wheels up. But the one story about that, John let me drive it once, and I mean, it was very, funny about letting people drive his cars. And I drove it once, and we just drove down an ordinary English road, and it was just like a TV serial. This policeman came out, an English policeman always sort of say, hello, 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 as opposed to your policeman who just club you to death, and then so this guy sort of said, hello, 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 and this policeman, these English policemen are very, well, they used to be nice, I imagine they changed too now, but this guy actually stood there, and they walked sort of like this. I don't know why they do that. Maybe because they were Cybermen in their previous life. And he got down on his knees in the middle of Chiswick, and he's looking up like that, and he actually thought it was a hovercraft. The only thing I thought they did wrong is when they used it in the television series, they showed the wheels. They should have shot it from a better angle to make it look like a hovercraft. And then, in terms of Bessie, Bessie was just an ordinary Ford T engine in design. I believe the BBC designed it, but we all rode in Bessie, even Nick Courtney, who couldn't drive very well. And that's another long story which I'd love to tell you. But yeah, so I drove both of them, and they were fascinating.
I had a drive at Bessie as well once. It was great, yeah. Great thrill, that was.
It doesn't have to go fast.
It doesn't go fast. Interesting, when you're driving a car on television, you have to drive much faster. I don't know why. It's petrifying. In the first scenes in my first Doctor Who's, where we're in this vintage car, I couldn't believe it. I turned up for the first day's filming, and there's this fantastic Humber blue vintage car sitting there, and the guy says, I'll take you for a run, get used to it, will you? And, I had an MGB GT, one of the last handmade MGB GT sports cars in the UK, which I did up and restored. And I just thought this was marvellous, this was like a dream come true. So off I went in this, that was fine. He had to double declutch it and all that sort of thing. And Stephen Gareth, the actor who I was working with in that scene, came with me, and we had a lovely time. We had a little drive round, and we started doing the scene. We were going about 40 miles an hour. Now this thing's a vintage car, it hasn't got a lot of suspension on it, and we're on a country road. And we're doing about 40 miles an hour, and even at 40 miles an hour, I'm worried, because in order to do the scene, I have to turn to Stephen all the time. Because the camera's there, and you can't, it's really boring to just see the side of somebody's face. In the end, we were going about 70 miles an hour. At one point, we took off. We went over this hump, and we're both sort of doing this, chattering to each other, and if you look at that scene, we both have manic smiles. It's the fear in our eyes. We came to the end, I pulled it out, and we both went, oh my God. And that's when, of course, they say, oh, can we just do one more? Wonderful stuff.
We've got some ladies waiting in the wings to draw the raffle for brunch. Before we do that, we'll take one more question from the audience. Please.
Just before you do it, may I just say sincerely on behalf of you've been really great tonight. This has been a great panel. It's really been nice. Thank you. It's lovely.
Used to each other, it takes us a bit of time. It's a very strange thing to walk into an American hotel. I come from Australia now. He's got, John's coming from Hollywood. David's come from London.
A wet Cyberman suit.
And we all arrive in this American hotel. There's hundreds of people who all want to take our photographs and things, and it's weird for us. You get really tense for a while, but when you start to get to know people and you relax and we relax, it gets a lot better. And so it is getting nice. So I hope you stick around for the rest of the weekend, because from here on it's up, okay? So one more question.
Okay, a really nerve-wracking question in that case.
We're all dreading it.
The man.
Oh, it's him again.
We'll take the lady down the front here.
Okay, would everybody look at him, please, as he asks a question?
Is it? No, the lady down the front, I think. If you weren't actors now, what would you be?
Well, I'd have most likely gone into medicine, because my father was a gynecologist. He wanted to be a brain surgeon, but he wasn't tall enough. I'm laughing, and I've heard it before. Do you know, I honestly don't know. I'm just grateful to be alive, really. I'll give it a thought, and I'll answer after David and Gareth.
I want to be an astronaut. I fancied being an astronaut when they're first going up there, and they're up there still, and I'm still not there. So, there you are.
Well, I'm sort of doing it. I'm halfway through a degree in zoology. And the sort of thing I dreamt about doing in England, like diving on the Barrier Reef, going in Kakadu National Park and getting paid for it, I am actually doing now. And getting paid for sometimes. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, but I just got to the age of 30 and I thought, if I don't resuscitate the grey matter now, there may be no hope for me in 10 years' time. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So you're talking to 3 or 4 very happy men. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
This is the draw for brunch with us, and God help you. And, is it the brunch now?
Okay, Robin Curtis.
Could be any time from breakfast on, I warn you. I know I'm on at 9 o'clock in the morning, so...
Oh, so we do it. Okay, right. Punch your hand in and draw it.
The draw for... the winning ticket is for Jack K.
Read the number, David. The member number. The phone. It says a phone number here. The member number is 05 GY 64.
If your car's parked outside, will you please move it?
Why don't we just take you? Do you hear the joke? You've been telling jokes all evening. You hear the joke about the American who saw the American boy who saw his daddy in the shower, and he said, "Daddy, what are those for?" And father said, "For?"
There's an extremely strange thing they say in Australia. They say that they have a very strange accent. And I remember I'd just gone to university and I heard one student say to the other, "Would you like to go out tonight?" And the girl replied, "No." She said, "No, I've got to work at 6 tonight." And 6 in Australian is, "No, I've got to work at 6 tonight."
That's a tough language.
It's really tough.
What do you call a boomerang that won't come back? A stick. I've got a clear label here. Nancy Long, number 1523. Nancy Long. It won't be long. Who is it? Oh, it's you. Well, it's my bleeding sister. Okay, whatever. Okay, Nancy, brunch tomorrow. Thank you. Bring plenty of money.
I've got Angela Reese 379 to have breakfast with me at 9 o'clock. Angela Reese, anyway, Angela Reese 379.
Okay, we're doing another one, are we? This is the tension builds. Plus, there's hundreds of them.
This is for Deborah
Thank you.
Watley. This simply just reads Jennifer. I assume that you're going to decode these or something. It's obviously some sort of Americanism I don't understand.
Should we draw? The question is, do we draw again if they're not here? Or no?
We don't.
Come on.
I was not in there.
Come on, we're losing pace here.
Okay, this is Mary Tam. All these tickets have got David Banks written on them. Right. Here goes. Here's luck to you, Mary. And Mary Tam has won Charles Martin. Do I have to read the rule number out? No.
Okay, well, this is, I can't say Sally's last name, I thought it was Sally Kivette. Nivette. Sorry, Sally. Okay, who's having brunch with Sally is Tom Heyman, 1596. Oh, okay, Tom. So Tom Heyman is having lunch with Sally.
This one's to have lunch with Clive Mantle.
It's more.
And it's Jane Jackman 1090.
Yes. Funny how none of them are here, have you noticed? And have you ever noticed wrong numbers are never busy? Have you noticed? It's like that, isn't it? It's like the 7-Eleven stores you have over here. They're open 24 hours. Why do they have locks on their doors?
Okay.
Thank you, James. That's
ridiculous. So this is the first one I'm drawing is for Mark Ryan, and it is Diane Pierwoodski. Does that mean anything to anyone? Okay.
Sounds like a real problem.
And the next one is for Richard Carpenter, and this is Kay Novak. They must be all right.
Great response to that.
Kay Novak.
Okay, so keep those in your hand, John.
David Jackson has just won Anne Skulking. Skulkin. Anne Skulkin. No, sorry, sir. Anne Skulkin. Skulking around somewhere.
Who's that for? Oh, okay, Stephen Pacey, the tall, good-looking Englishman that was on the stage earlier this morning. It's the easiest $10 I've ever earned. And he, it's all working out well as man for woman and everything. Julie Fitch. Julie Fitch is having dinner with Stephen Pacey, and the engagement will be announced later. Okay, so that's it. We've done it. Oh, sorry, Mark. I do apologize.
This one's for Paul Darrow, and it's Anne Waisaki 0560.
Sounds like a Japanese motorcycle, doesn't it? Is that you, darling? Well, you've got Paul Darrow. But there is a cure for it, don't worry. Okay, may I just say, this is for Tom Baker. All right, that is 10.
We draw 10 from this box, okay, so we'll pass it along.
Okay.
So the first one...
Oh, I'm going to stand up for this because I admire Tom.
All right, the first one...
I've never seen him, but I admire him.
Have you got somebody writing these down?
Yeah, this is serious.
Right, well, the first one is J. Smith, number 638.
Woo! Yes. Oh, no, I don't know what it means. Okay, the second winner for Tom, he's going to have a bloody long lunch hour, is... Phil Rosenberg. Well, look, it's on there anyway.
Phil Rosenberg, BACH, 616.
And the third seat is for Jeremy
Neil, put some lights on over the stage, we can't see it.
Magali. Jeremy Magali.